Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be back today for, I think, the first English video about personal growth on this channel, because I think I've mainly done like travel related videos in English, and I haven't started really to talk in English about personal growth. So this is the first time I'm doing it in English, so I'm really happy about it. I've been thinking that I've done in French previously the first and second video about how to start working on yourself. The first one have subtitles in English, and it's actually the first video I've made on my channel ever about personal growth. And the second one is not translated yet, but I'm going to do it really soon for you to follow the series. And it's actually today the last one of the series, which is actually about a pyramid, I don't know, a triangle that I found on Instagram that was showing the steps at a different um, period and transition you will experience through healing. And the first one was awareness, so I did the first video on that. The second one was responsibility and how to create your own reality. And today I'm gonna talk about forgiveness and releasing shame and guilt. So just before we start, I just wanted to announce, because I've done it on Instagram but I've never announced it on YouTube yet, that I am almost done with my coaching studies. So I am now taking what is called the pro bono clients, which is basically that I'm searching for people who would like to be coached by me for free, because it's still for training purposes. So if you're interested by that and you want to work with me, you can DM me on Instagram or send me an email. So basically, once you realize that something needed to change, when you want to work on yourself, and then that you are responsible for this change and to create the reality you want to create for yourself, chances are that may, or I would say will, arise some sort of shame, guilt, or blame. And the reason why those feelings will arise, it's because you will maybe realize that you've done a lot of things that were not serving you in the past. And you will also be aware of what is going wrong in your life at the moment. So it's really normal that you will feel guilty for things you've done, or shameful for behaviors you have today, or even blame yourself for past mistakes, for certain unhealthy behaviors that you might still have. So the thing is, to step up and be really at peace with yourself, you need to let go of those feelings. You need to let go of shame and guilt and realize that it is actually okay to feel those things, and it's actually okay to make mistakes. I think there's this weird time in your healing journey where you are aware of what is supposed to be healthy and unhealthy behaviors or reactions, but you are not yet healed enough to control yourself, or at least to change deeply those behaviors. So it's a bit unsettling, because you see yourself, you're watching yourself doing things that are not serving you. And that's when shame comes. And that's when guilt comes, because you're like, I know that I shouldn't do that, so why am I doing it anyway? Like, it's frustrating, right? But also, I want to say to you that if you realize that, it is just a signal, an information for you that you still have some work to do on that. It is still a way for you to say, okay, there's some limiting beliefs, there's some deeper healing I need to do on those areas of my life, because I haven't processed things completely. But also, it is really important that you're patient with yourself in that moment, because you cannot change everything all at once and from one day to another. Things take time, and if you are stuck in patterns and habits that you've been doing and following for years and years, it's not just because you are aware of it that it will change. It's all about patience and really digging deep on what is actually the pattern and why you keep repeating the same action even though you know it's unhealthy for you. So here is 4 things that I'm doing to try to release shame and guilt when I feel like it's arising. Just wanted to say though that it is my way of thinking, that's the way I'm processing things, and if it's helping you, it's amazing, but maybe you will have to find your own way of processing your thoughts and your feelings when it arises. It's just things that I've learned and read that resonated with me around that, so I hope it will help you as well. So the first things that I'm doing is I try to talk to myself and to treat myself and see myself as if I were a child. I prefer to think of it as I am a child, not another person that I love, because I feel like I am really soft and gentle with a child, because I know that they cannot do everything right, that they're still learning, that they're really young, so I have this really gentle and nice way of looking at a child. What I mean by that is that if a child comes to you and explain to you what they're feeling, like what you are feeling right now, like they feel shameful and guilty because they've made mistakes, because they feel like they're not enough, because they are ashamed of this aspect of their personality, you will probably tell them that it's totally fine, that they are enough, that they will learn and get better at this, and everybody makes mistakes and they are human, so that's normal. So this speech that you will tell a child in this situation, you have to tell it to yourself. That's a way to like shift your inner dialogue and to think differently about yourself. You are parenting yourself. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to not do everything perfectly the first time you're doing it, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. Like, your past mistakes are completely fine. You can let go of this guilt because we are here to learn. It is, for all of us, our first life, so we are still experiencing and testing and learning, basically. So that's okay. The second thing that is really important, and I would say that it took me a while to think that way, but it's that you are not broken. I know we are all talking about healing and working on yourself and improving yourself, but it doesn't mean that you are at a core not enough. The way I'm seeing things is that the more I'm learning about psychology and growth and emotional regulation and everything, the more I learn that our thoughts and our emotions are just body's reactions. We are deeply human, and by that I mean that our emotions are just a way to protect us. We are not broken. It's not because you are angry or sad or anxious or desperate or disappointed. I don't know which emotion you label as bad, but it's not because you're feeling that way or you react that way that it means that you are broken. In fact, all of your emotions have their role, and each one of them are here to protect you. In a different way, but every thoughts even are here to protect you. I told you in different videos, again it was in French, but I'm gonna explain that in English again, that your ego, basically your mind, your brain, like all your thoughts, are here to protect you. But they're just sometimes overprotective, which means that you can have what you would consider big reactions or bad emotions, bad thoughts. That's how we label them usually in society, but in fact it's just thoughts, it's just emotions. And what is really important is to understand that all of them are neutral. I'm not saying that it's comfortable to feel them or to think them, but it's just that it's not bad or good. There's no like healed version of you or broken version of you. My point is that you don't have to feel ashamed or guilty about any emotion or thoughts that you have, because each one of them have an explanation. The reason why you're feeling that way, you're thinking that way, is because there's a reason. There's a past experience or a situation that led you to have those feelings and thoughts. So nothing is shameful. Nothing that comes out of you is shameful, because everything you're doing is neutral. You're not broken. You know what I mean? That helped me so much when it comes to acceptance of my own emotions. Like, everything is fine. I'm not a problem. I'm not broken. So another thing is that you cannot hate yourself into loving you. You cannot improve yourself by hating yourself or shaming and blaming yourself. You cannot. I know a lot of people think that, and I've met a lot of person around me who will use anger and really harsh dialogue to push themselves. Like, you're not good enough, you should do better, and that's a way they talk to themselves and try to motivate themselves. But even if you end up achieving something with that kind of inner dialogue, in the end you will never heal the part of you that don't feel enough. You will not feel really at peace and in the end, because positive change and a positive mindset and a positive shift in your life can only come with a positive inner dialogue. You have to be your best supporter. You have to be your best cheerleader. You cannot hate yourself into loving you again. That's not how it works. So you have to really be aware that every hate speech that you will have against yourself is actually not serving you. It's actually your ego that's talking. Again, as I'm saying, it's not bad. It's your ego trying to protect you, because part of you really believes that you need to move forward by being harsh on yourself. But it is not a sustainable way of healing. So releasing shame and guilt also happens when you realize that it's not helping. It's not really helping to shame yourself. There's nothing to be shamed for or guilty about, and feeling guilty is just slowing you down. And I want to end this video with a more positive note, because I've recently done an exercise, because I am still working a lot on my confidence and trusting myself, accepting myself, because it's a lifelong journey, honestly. And I've done this vision board where I've just printed like celebrities and characters in movies and books that I really admire, because I feel like they are fully accepting themselves and I love their personality. And by doing that, I've realized that most of those people are actually really flawed. They have a lot of flaws and a lot of things that society might say that it's not great. And actually a lot of people I've put on this vision board are really insecure about some part of themselves. And that made me think that actually what is making you you and what people really love about you is that you're not perfect and that you have some flaws that make you unique. I think it's not easy at all to really fully accept that, but you are unique and you are lovable also because you're flawed. Like, someone who is flawless and perfect in every way is actually not that interesting, because it's not really human to be like that. It's not possible. And actually, I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've noticed that when I'm meeting someone who seemed really perfect, my first reaction is like, this person is hiding something. This person might be masking or faking their personalities, because you are not perfect. It's literally impossible. And that's also the beauty of being a human and just living a life, because you have a lot of things to work on and you have also your own personality. So releasing shame and guilt is so essential. Fighting forgiveness, letting go of the past, and realize that you are enough no matter what you're doing, no matter what you've done, is so liberating. And what is actually funny is because I've done this first video when I started my healing journey, and at the moment where I've done my video, like the first one, I was deeply into awareness. And when I've done the second one, and it's not on purpose, really, I've done it subconsciously, but the second video I've done on responsibility was actually a moment where I was deeply learning and understanding being responsible for my own healing, and stop accusing people around me for my sadness or my anxiety. And I actually feel like right now I'm really working on forgiveness, and I think it's one of the softest and but also most challenging aspect of healing, because it's deep acceptance of who you are and what you are. I think a lot of people think that healing is about healing your flaws and be a better person, be good enough. Like personal growth, people feels like it's improving yourself because you're not good as you are. But actually it's not that, and it takes a while to be at that stage where you're like, healing is accepting myself as I am right now. That's how you heal. That's not by trying to be better, it's by trying to feel enough as you are. Which is so hard to do, by the way, but it is so rewarding when you get to that stage. So yes, I hope this video helped you, or you could have some inspiration to think about your own healing journey. Again, and as always, you can like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have any question or just you want to share something. Again, you can follow me on Instagram, where I'm sharing a little bit more than here, and I'll see you next time for another video.